volume if you have to.
Take this up.
All right, welcome to the Neutral Zone on site here, Sunday afternoon at the 6th annual Legends Hockey Tournament here. We are here with a special guest, Richy Allen. He's traveled here all the way from Pittsburgh, but I gotta add, he's a Chicago native, particularly from the fine suburb of Naperville, just like my co-host Stomps. Take it away, Stomps.
Richy, this is great talking to you today. So you were just telling us how you moved to Pittsburgh and you kind of discovered ball hockey and how big it is. Talk about that, because I always hear about the Pittsburgh area as like ground zero for ball.
It's not, from what I found out, it's not ground zero. Boston is actually.
Really?
Massachusetts is ground zero.
Correct.
Leominster, actually, I believe it is ground zero. That's where ball hockey was originated. Pittsburgh just Pittsburgh has kind of matched its longevity. We started shortly after them, and both cities have developed some of the best ball hockey players that I've ever known and that I've ever even seen. Especially like Boston has produced so many phenomenal players throughout the years, and just from my specific team, Penn Hills, we've produced some phenomenal players throughout the years. That's not including all of Pittsburgh. So
it's great to know. I mean, out here we're playing catch up in the Chicago area. I think with ball hockey, we got some good players.
You have some talent. I've seen a lot of talent from Chicago.
Southsider guys. And,
the Southsiders. I saw them in AHL.
We lost a generation of hockey players in this town. The Blackhawks are terrible.
I remember those years.
You were around for those years, so
yes.
Nobody was playing.
Back when Tony Mane was on the team.
Well, there was some good moments, but when they got good, then people wanted to play hockey, and now here you see it. So we're seeing a lot of young people play.
Pittsburgh was kind of the same way. Ball hockey especially picked up a lot more when Sid Crosby came into the league. Of course. Because I was still here in Chicago at the time. I didn't come back to Pittsburgh in 2009, right before they won the Cup. But the ball hockey really picked up about that time, 2009, 2010-ish, when the Penguins themselves actually built a lot of ball hockey rinks.
Yes.
They put a lot of money into building a lot of ball hockey rinks, and a lot of them are used and still used today. And one team that uses one is the Pittsburgh Gods. They use one of the Penguins rinks that was built, and it's a phenomenal rink. I love playing them.
So the Blackhawks have built a couple, 2 or 3 rinks. They're outdoor rinks.
That's what all the ones.
That's where they play the NBHL. Now, did I hear correctly? You were on the champion NBHL team?
Yes, I was.
So I reffed the entire
season. Penn Hills Imperium.
Congratulations, Richy. One thing I've noticed, and if you could just help me understand, is this your first time in Legends Hockey Tournament?
This is my first time being here ever.
Okay,
in this particular rink. I have never been in this rink until yesterday.
How do you think this matches up to all these other tournaments you get to go to?
Honestly, it's good. It's about the same. I mean, all tournaments are completely different as far as even just atmosphere.
Right.
The competitiveness, from top to bottom. But I do like this atmosphere. The atmosphere of this rink is phenomenal. Competitiveness is definitely there. You can definitely see it, especially in the high league. It's one thing that I feel like it's going to be a real good tournament this year for the high league. And I saw a few good teams. I feel like anyone can win it.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to be very happy to hear that. I wanted to ask you a question. Stomps and I, particularly Stomps, he's a student of the game. He watches lots of games. He plays in a lot of games. He's also a referee. And we've both taken an interest in your style of play. Now, I understand are you a defenseman?
I'm a forward.
You're a forward.
I play defense
but you play a two-way game, I noticed that. Tell us a little bit how your game has evolved and what is your philosophy around ball hockey?
In my game, I've been a two-way player since I was on ice hockey, honestly. Ice hockey, I was always a center, and I was one of the hardest back checkers on my team every single year. I was one of the fastest players on my team every single year. But back checking has always been one of my games, and I've tried to bring a powerful forward and an offensive forechecking with it too. So I've always been one of those players. So when I came to ball hockey, it really just came natural to me to be that type of player. And I've also noticed that in ball hockey, there's not that many type of players, and I feel like I'm not that skilled. But I figure if I do something to stand out like that, then I'll be able to, blast in the high levels and be a dominant player in the high levels, regardless of my skill, my individual skill, my hand skill, my shooting skill, whatever it is.
Excellent. So work ethic and two-way play. Stomps, take it away for the last question.
I want to ask you a question about yesterday. So you said you ref as well, right?
I do.
So I was reffing one of your games. I was the trailing ref, and you had a play. You were attacking in the zone. I thought you had the guy beat. I thought he interfered with you as you tried to get around him. And me being the coward that I am, I didn't call it because Diggs was right there. And you were talking to him between periods. Would you agree that? I thought that was an interference.
Absolutely, it was. He made the claim to me, which, I mean, I asked him, why wasn't that interference? He made the claim to me that what he saw, which obviously you can't go by anything what the ref saw. He said that, he was like, from what he saw, the guy just stood his ground and I ran into him. And I was like, well, I did kind of run into him, but only because he stuck his arms out.
Right.
If he didn't stick his arms out, I wouldn't have touched him. And which then it is interference, unfortunately. But at the same time, I wasn't mad about it. He explained his point of view, which I do try to do that as a ref as well. I respect refs that do that, especially because I'm like, if you're not just telling me, oh, it is what it is. I'm like, well, I mean, explain it to me, man. Like, what did you see? Because if you tell me what you saw, it'll help me understand more of what to not do next. You know, and that's why, like, with players, like, even especially the kids, I try to always explain to them exactly why I called what I called. So that they understand, like, look, you can do this, but you can't do that. And that's why I try. I figure one of some of the best refs that I've seen growing up communicated. They communicated a whole lot, and I always liked that. Like some of my favorite refs, even, like they just communicated with me, let me know. Like, and they weren't just hard asses. Like you got to be a hard ass sometimes. I get that, but you know, most times just be nice.
Well, Richy Allen, it's been a pleasure to have you on this installment of the Neutral Zone. On behalf of Stomps and I, we wish you very, very much success in the remainder of the tournament and your continued career. Today we had a superstar from the Warbirds attending the Neutral Zone. We thank you for that. And again, we wish you the best. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.
All the best.
Beautiful.
Wait, did you call me a superstar from the Warbirds?